This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve here, where it's pretty much a bit of a cloud, as you can see around here, everybody. So just gonna take a time, look around what we can find in this cloud. And I'm not alone with Cedric on the far side, who will be also checking. So if you then jump aboard to your very own live safari through the African wild. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve again. Here it's very cloudy this morning, so it's far different than the way we started yesterday in that heat of above 35 degrees, and then it just all of a sudden drop. So we found out. My name is Andrew, and on camera I have Darcy Store. So this is our plan, to actually look for the animal, and then I know for sure the watering hole won't be a really good idea to check because it's still quite early morning, but it happens. It was actually my route to come into this area. But everybody, as you can see, cloudy all over around here on the low field this morning. So this is how we're going to be operating around. And so we still love from you and all the questions, the comments that you all send. And we'll enjoying them, loving them so much. If you can also send them via hashtag WildEarth on Twitter and at FC, which is on YouTube, as well as if you are under the age of 18, you can send us also an email via kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. But a simple way, if you go also on the WildEarth website and register and head over to the live safari page and you submit your question there, we'll be answering them for you. So it's going to be one of the interesting day here, from driving around yesterday where it was pretty much of hot, where we've seen a lot of different herds of elephants, and then of course today with this cloud we're just going to find out what we're going to find, because I'm going to be searching around for hopefully the pride of line that they've been seen coming in from Anyuleti. This is at Alamati, and then I hope duckmen would be there as well if we ever find them. And then Cedric is going to be also checking towards Chitwa, which is very interesting. See what they're going to find for us or for everybody. Then in Ngala also there will be probably mobile about, as well as a JP in Brightland. Maybe later on Trishal joined us from the ocean of Cape Town. So let's find out if that will happen. So everybody, I'm going to be checking around. Still quite not really clear sky. I was actually using my spotlight because we started there and it was like very still. Now I can still see, which is a little bit of a rise, which is beautiful. But also to practice the spotlight when you're about to start, if it's too much cloudy, and then that's how you wake around the spotlight. You're still able to see all of these animals. They may be moving about. It's nocturnal. Most are hyenas, lions, leopards, on a various small these are nocturnal animals that may be still moving about. Seen quite a few scrub hare that haven't made their way to the hide yet. Yeah, so you're asking whether the weather affect cats perhaps to hunt. So such a weather like this is great for the cats and all the cat species. And then especially when it's windy, because they gain a lot of access to the prey species. But of course, the prey species may be also affected due to the fact that they get disturbed by the wind. In that case, they won't practice their skill of hearing and all of the sense of smells they use when they're in the open. So yeah, there is a difference in terms of benefit from prey species and of course a carnivorous species. And leopards will push so much in hunting, but then you'll see how they hunt. These older cats, they always so face the wind that they can able to in advance smell what is in front of them. But that's also applied when it's also pouring of rain, sea lions moving through the wood. That time they don't stalk really, they just make sure they get close to the prey species by maybe coming closer using these ambush behind the bushes. Since there's too much wind, prey species hearing it's all just gone. They cannot hear properly when it's wind. So cats, I love that hunting in a windy also. So everybody, just carry on, check around, and let's quickly take a look at the weather.
Good morning. A bit of a bumper start for us this morning. My name is Cedric. I have BK on the camera with me this morning. Yes, it is a bit cloudy this morning, so good condition with a bit of wind for the predators. So our plan is to look for the Talamatis first. Yesterday afternoon, evening, they just crossed into Djuma, so we're currently looking for them around here. Obviously, we can cover very big distance at night, but we did track Vuyutela Access and Triple M, and now we are on Powerline Road making our way to Zoe's Road. There were some tracks at the back, but very quickly, and then it crossed into the block. So I'm hoping maybe to check Zoe's Road and hopefully we'll find some tracks there. It is very cloudy. It is very cloudy, sorry, I thought I heard something. And it's a bit windy, so obviously it will be a good advantage with the wind for the predators. Also because there's not much sun, they will be less visible. So it can be a very good day for a kill. That would be very nice. Yesterday morning we were very, very lucky with Tingana and Samba on a warthog kill. We were there for the kill, but unfortunately it was a bit thick. We didn't see the kill itself. I would love to see the Talamati today. Yesterday I saw them in the afternoon, but there was no signal. You know, we were reporting live from the bush, so it's not everywhere we can get good signal. Sometimes it gets a bit tricky. So there was quite a lot of them, and Darkmane was with them as well. So this is what I'm hoping for this morning. And also later on we might go to Chitwa and check around if the leopards are still around there at Samba and Tingana. It was a small water kill, so I think it's probably finished by now. But always good to go check there. We also got a very nice birding drive yesterday morning with lots of bird of prey, so we look for them as well today. But obviously my priority would be to find some cats. sorry, I don't think I got the name right, but the question is, how often do we see lions attacking elephant? It is quite rare. I never saw it myself. In this area, generally the elephant pushed the lions. I think Andrew had a nice sighting at the water hole two afternoons ago, and yeah, this herd of elephant pushed the 3 female off. However, saying that, apparently in some part of Africa, like in Zambia, some of the lion pride specialize themselves to hunt elephants. So obviously they will not be able to kill the big bull, but the younger elephant, they can do it. But these lions are very specialized on doing it. Yeah, me, I never saw it, unfortunately. Would be quite interesting to see, obviously. A bit emotional, of course. Can be very sad, but would be quite amazing. I'm not sure if BK saw lions trying to put the elephant down, or he said to me no. So that would be nice to see. Okay, so we continue on Zoe's road there. Hopefully we'll pick up on some trucks or even the Talamatis, but they might be a bit further out as well.
So everybody, we also bumble around, so we're checking all roads. It just looks like we've got a kudu over here. Those are the antelope. We always wish to look at them and also spend time with them, but sometimes they cannot be around. I'm so glad that it's now already light, so we can able to see them straight away. Kudu, they're actually one of the successful antelope out here, due to the fact that they're all browsers, but they don't mind feeding on these twigs of the trees. There's a young male. So he's still young. This horn still have to well develop. Probably about 3 twists somewhere there. So it's great that he's still within a group of the all females over here. Oh, looks like it's 2 of a young male. So fully grown of a kudu, they're more likely to be sometimes all separated, and then you all see all bunch of male together. It's just so interesting how they operate around, and there are antelopes. So there is no such territorial situation, but it also the dominees, it's also count as very one of the imported, and the animals, those are the smallest, respect, and the oldest.
Good morning and welcome to WildEarth. We are live on Bushwalk at Eco Training Pridelands. It's an incredibly windy morning out here with a cold front that has approached us. It's quite a contrast in terms of temperature from yesterday, which was over 36 degrees Celsius, with a temperature high of some 20 degrees for today. So our plan for this morning is to hang around the dam and then make our way out when the wind starts settling. So my name is JP LaRue, and behind the camera we've got Gerard. Well, we started our morning. We were busy listening to a number of different birds that were busy calling and coming down towards the water. And one of the groups of birds that has got a fairly large nest over here is the red-billed buffalo weavers, which is built directly over the water. It's quite interesting when these nests are built away from water. They're generally built on the north and western side of trees. However, when the nest is built over water, wind and the direction of where rain comes from does not really influence it, and it's randomly positioned. So for us, that's a great navigational tool out there in the field when it is a day where there's no sun, to orientate and navigate when we are walking. A while ago, I also noticed that there was a number of birds that was nesting inside this nest as well, and one of them was the Egyptian geese that had some eggs inside there, which was taken by a harrier hawk. The pair eventually chased off the harrier hawk. I also find it interesting how these birds build their nests. So what they do is specialize in actually picking up thorn branches and bringing that back to make the nest, to protect it against potential mammal invasions or other predators that might want to get to their chicks and to their eggs. Good morning, PK, and welcome to the show. It does take them a week or two to start building a small nest. However, this nest is quite old already, and it's probably a good few years that it's been going. And they're constantly adding on a daily basis to the nest structure itself. Although it's not as large as that of sociable weavers, this is still a considerably large nest if we look at it in terms of its size. We're going to hang around for the dam for a little bit and see what's happening. Let's go and see what Andrew is up to in the meanwhile.
So I'm up to being static with these such a beautiful kurus, yeah, and they're just coming out across these beautiful burned sections. They've been actually all over. It's such a great to see them in a number of more than 7 to 10 numbers sometimes. We've seen 2 young male in this group, which is all around perhaps a year and a half, somewhere there. They just look gorgeous when his horn is about just to well developed like that. You wouldn't think they may go much in length. And that length can be anything from 120 centimeter up. And then it always has to be anything from about roughly 3 twists when they are fully growing. So they're spiral horn. And what is great, Pelican, so you're asking how far can the kuru run? So they can pick up speed about 50, 60 kilometers an hour. Or maybe they can be slightly, maybe, depending on what they're running up for. But emergency run, they can really reach up that far. So it looks like our kuru are all disappearing. We're going to check and then we're going to probably reverse back because they're moving. They're following these burned section, and what is good about the burned section is that all of these trees are beautiful new shoots since the burn has taken place. So everybody, I'm going to reposition here. In the meantime, we'll be sending you across to another guide.
Yeah, so we did scratch around Unfortunately, we didn't find the lions, but we found some elephants. There's lots of elephants around lately, which is very nice. We did get very nice sighting of them at dams and at Galagopan as well. And we're currently feeding. I see only those two, so I'm thinking might be two young bull. I don't see any other elephants around. It seems very relaxed and just, since we stopped here, we're just in the same spot. So nice to spend time with elephants. Yesterday also we started the drive with a big herd of elephant at Galagopan. It was very nice. Obviously they are very thick skinned, up to 4 centimeters in some part of their body. That will also help them to not get hurt, obviously, when they walk through the bushes, push trees and all of that. So they have to be very strong. So they eat a bit of everything, for the vegetation, obviously. It will be grass, branches, but also fruits, marula fruits, a bit of interaction there. The barks of the trees, how nice is that? I'm just staying a bit quiet and letting you enjoy. This is actually quite a cool sighting. It is very nice sometimes the way they rest their trunk on the floor. They will do that also on their tusk, when they have bigger tusk. Philemon, you're asking on average how long is the elephant trunk? I am not sure of the exact number, but obviously it is quite long. If it's a big bull, it's touched the ground from quite high, so yeah, it can be, I would say, maybe up to 3 meters, for a big bull elephant. It is composed of a lot of muscle, up to 100,000 muscles. And obviously they are very agile with it, grabbing the smallest thing. But you can see it is quite amazing. You can see there with that branch. It's like we're playing with branches this morning. The other one as well. A bit sad that they're looking away now. It looks like looking at twins. We're doing the same thing on both sides. So obviously, elephant will have normally one calf. Very rarely there's some twins at time, so 2 calves. But that's quite rare. And obviously, I'm not saying that those are twins. It's just saying that they're doing the same thing. So these bulls are quite young still. So they've probably been pushed out of a breeding herd. So now they will wander around and probably join another big bull. This is what they do normally and be like a little bachelor herd. Yeah, so for the Talamatis, I really hope we found them today, or even Andrew found them. It would be nice to show it to you.
Dear Watcher, the trunks are amazing.
Yeah, dear Watcher, you're saying the trunks are amazing, yeah. Sorry, I didn't get the question correctly. Thank you, BK. Yeah, it is amazing. Me, I really like to look at it because they use it for everything. Bringing water to their mouth, breathing, bringing food to their mouth, and also, you know, pulling the grass out. It is quite amazing. It's like they are so agile with it. Obviously, when they are very young, it takes time for them to get used to it. So this is where it gets quite cute and funny when the trunk is going a bit everywhere for the elephant calf. But I would say from 3 months old, they start to get, 3 months to 6 months old, they start to get the hang on it. So they start to get used to it and use it properly. It's chewing. Look at that. Okay, we're going to stay here a bit longer because this is quite entertaining actually.
As we celebrate Women's Month in South Africa, we acknowledge and thank those women committed to conservation, working tirelessly both on the front lines and behind the scenes. The Endangered Wildlife Trust is proud of the women who dedicate their lives to fighting to save species, conserve habitats, and benefit people. Here's to strong women everywhere who are dedicated to protecting forever together.
And I turned to Shaun and I saw that she had this panicked look on her face. You know, either she was afraid that something had happened or she was afraid that she was going to miss out on something. But instead of her missing out on those lions, we drove up next to them and I switched off the car so that she could hear what was going on. Now, these lions had killed a kudu, and she could hear these two cubs, both 8 months old at the time, busy pushing and shoving each other out the way to get to the best parts of the meat. And the mom was lying just to the side in the shade. Now, I'd known that before losing her sight, Shaun probably knew what a lion looked like. But I really wanted her to know what this lion looked like. So for the first time in my guiding career, I started to describe to someone what a lion looked like. And I found that, you know, I started to notice things in that lion that I'd never seen before.
Something very, very interesting. I didn't plan this, but this is a scene, rarely seen. This is what we call a journey of giraffe. So beautiful.
Tune into WildEarth every single day. It's in your nature.
I love being a cam op for WildEarth. The animals coming right up close to you, especially like lions. Sometimes you get nervous, but you have to go with the flow. My favorite animal to film is the elephant because of how big it is. But when it's really up close to you, it's one animal that you would say, I really respect you.
Welcome back at Bushwalk. At the moment we're waiting for the wind to drop so that we can start our walk. So what we started out over here is looking at some of the geology as what we're waiting for wind to drop. So the rocks that you see over here is dolerites, and if you have a closer look you'll see that it's starting to peel away from the rock itself. This is known as onion skin weathering. This often happens when these rocks are exposed to high temperatures that we generally will experience during our summer months. As you know, yesterday was already 36 degrees Celsius, and the temperatures in the Lowveld can reach in excess of 40. And then suddenly in the late afternoon, you'll get temperature drops when the rain starts, and the difference in temperature will lead to the fragmentation of the rock. So these little weathered fragments, this will eventually become soil, and this will create a very unique plant community in this area. So each and every area that we have has got its own unique geology, and eventually that will lead to its own unique plant communities and animal life forms which we get in those areas. One of the things that I do also find particularly interesting is that these weathered fragments, when they start peeling away, also creates home for a number of different lizard species. And one of the lizards that we often get over here is a rainbow skink, as well as a plated lizard that loves wedging themselves underneath these rocks. And they too have also evolved strategies that if they are confronted by a predator, they move into these little cracks, and then they will start inflating themselves to make it a little bit more difficult for the predator to try and extract it from the little rocky crack where they were hiding from. These rocks are also quite interestingly formed underneath the Earth's surface, and they are molten masses of rock that will solidify there, and after many millions of years of weathering, they become exposed on top of the Earth's surface. The Lowveld is also home to some of the oldest rocks in the world, and if we look at it, the granites that we find in this area as well dates at some 3.1 billion years of age.
So we're still sitting here with these two elephants. There's another vehicle who just joined us on the sighting behind them. But they were pushing each other around. It was quite nice. Hopefully they will do it again. Look at that. It is so nice to see when they do that. Obviously it's not very aggressive, it's just playing around. Good for a bit of training as well. For the future, if they have to fight to mate with a female, so they will fight with other bulls. And you can see the vein in the ears there. So it is very important for them. They flap their ears a lot when it's hot. The reason they do that is to cool down the blood that goes through the ear. And actually I think, if I'm not mistaken, up to 20 liters of blood can go through the ear every 12 minutes. And then this blood will be redistributed to the body and will be cooling them down. And so you're asking if elephant fight can be fatal. I will come to you now, just want to watch that quickly. That was so nice. Well, I never saw, but it gets very, very aggressive. So I assume it can be fatal with the big bull. But what happens generally when one big bull is stronger than the other and start winning the fight, the other bull will start running away from the fight. But I'm sure it might have been some fatal fight before, because it gets very, very violent sometimes. And those big bull elephants weigh up to 6 tons, so you can imagine the power when they eat each other with the head and push each other around. Looks like this one is moving away from the other one. hiding behind a tree there. Okay, I think on our side, when we move a bit later, we will try to look for the Talamatis. Maybe, yeah, we're not on Zoe's road now, so maybe head to Zoe's road and try Philemon Cutline. Maybe Andrew find them already, I'm not sure. It would be nice that one of us can find them if they were still on Djuma, obviously. Maybe they just cross into Djuma quickly and went on another property. But they like to spend time on Djuma still. This elephant is getting quite close to the other vehicle there. So I'm sure the guests there on that vehicle are having a very good look at it. Look at how he opened his ears to make himself bigger and show that he's like seeing the vehicle and the ears are very big. It comprises up to 20% of the entire surface of her body. So it's a big part of her body. And Aruda, you're asking if elephants feed all day long. They will stop at time, obviously, to drink or to sleep a bit, because elephants do sleep, not a lot, but they do. But obviously, they spend most of their time feeding. The reason is they have to eat a lot of food. They eat up to like 5% of their body weight. So you can imagine, like a big bull can eat up to 300 kilograms of vegetation a day. Why they have to eat so much? It's because their digestive system is very weak. It's not very good. So they need to eat a lot to get enough nutriment in their body. So yeah, they will not feed all day long. They will sleep sometime, also drink, and also there's other type of behavior that will happen when they fight. So they will not focus on food. This one at the back there is like playing with that tree, which is very close to that other vehicle, so it is quite nice. Young bull elephant can be a bit cheeky sometimes. Some of them have a behavior that everything is fine and suddenly they start behaving a bit aggressively. Megan, you're saying that you love these big animals. Yeah, they are very, very nice to see. And they are very intelligent as well. What I love to see is elephant calves. Like they can be very entertaining, especially when they come close to the car by running with their ears open and trumpeting. It is quite nice. So this one is walking past us now. It'd be nice if we can go a bit on that termite mound, but I doubt he will do it. Oh, maybe yes. Unfortunately, there's some bushes. I just stopped before the termite mound. I was driving a couple of days ago, and when we arrived around the corner, there was this termite mound, and there was an elephant on top of it. Unfortunately, as soon as we saw it, it went down. It was quite impressive to see an elephant on a termite mound. Oh, well, looks like it's kind of going up there. Okay, there's a vehicle coming. If he's still coming, I will have to move a little bit off the road and let them pass. So that elephant there is walking behind the termite mouth. Okay, I think on our side we'll start moving because we're getting into the bush now. Maybe we can go check Zoe's road for those lions. Okay, so let's start moving, and hopefully we can catch up on the lions if they are around.
Good morning and welcome to Bushwalk. We're out and about in Lilville Dam at the moment and waiting for the wind to settle before we're going to start our walk. So meanwhile, we're just enjoying whatever we can see. And some Egyptian geese on the opposite side. We had some francolins coming to visit us this morning. Let's see what everybody else is up to.
So everybody, we on a bumble stool in this cloudy morning. So we're heading towards Gari Dam there because we wanted to start it further and all of a sudden check the boundary for anything tracks. Then it was not tracks that we've seen, especially on the southern boundary. So I'm driving right back inside Djuma at the moment, so I'm going to check quickly Gari Dam, that side. But also, this wind, what now happened is, since the old cats, when they hunt, they have to rely on the wind. It may sometimes lead them different way out of the area, which means if these leopards on the south and the wind blows to the north, of course these leopards won't sometimes come far north. They would always go to the south because of the advantage of perhaps getting a sense ahead of them in advance. But last night, since that wind has picked up a little bit, it's been up and down, so different directions that way. So I don't think that it affects so much difference, make it a lot of difference to the leopards and lions able to hunt headed one direction all the time. So you ask me, when the leopard learn how to climb trees, or how perhaps, so they actually, so from age of 4 months, this is where they actually climb trees for their own survival, and then that way they learn, and it's actually faster for them to learn because they have a claw, which is they use them when they climb trees. So they would learn from their mother, and then mother put the meat up in trees for them to get up. This is where they exercise this, and they finally, eventually, they learn properly. So from that age of 4 months, and they get all these skills of climbing trees, but immediately, for emergency, for fun, but I also believe that the leopard that hasn't been up in trees, probably maybe there's something wrong in it. Maybe collapse the legs. Because these cats designed to climb trees. We've seen lion also. They're not actually very good climb, but they do climb trees. They're so heavy, they can climb far as much as they can, but only harder for them to come down, where they don't come down comfortably like leopards do. They have to drop from that far, jump down, and they hurt their legs when they land on the floor. So that's why lions only climb trees for a reason. When they gotta steal or kill, Jackson, so you're asking, I think leopards struggle to host their kill up in trees when they're old. So, no, I don't think so, because their claws doesn't actually wound up, and their muscles that they have, they build up with very strong muscles, and they can still do better in climbing trees, unless if there is oversized a prey species that they had. You know, we talk about male and Ngala, those type of antelope. Of course, you probably be harder for him, because even a healthy leopard would be maybe slightly harder for leopard to actually climb trees with such a heavy load of prey. I check around here because there's some wildebeest that are looking on the Ngala Dam, but they're looking around from the far side, so I'm not sure what they're seeing around here. I'm gonna check. Because they can see better than we do. And they spend a lot of hours than we do out here. I might say that it's actually not bad weather for animals to be active. The wind that was thought to be blowing up high, it's all settled down there. So everybody, I'm trying to listening or looking at these wildebeest that we can see from the far side there. They don't seem to be really relaxed, running around a little bit. And there is more of them on the western side of the dam there. They're not actually alarm calling, and these one are all just freeze and right in the middle of the open, listening, watching around. They will eventually rain this direction also. So maybe whatever they're running from could be maybe on the far side to the west of here, because they're running to the east. That's what you're asking with the wildebeest are territorial. So yeah, a male wildebeest are territorial. A lot of time you find the females on their own, and then it's actually a unique system there where the female, they're free range, or they can move around, non-limit in that movement. And I get to see many males maybe in 1 week or so, where the dominant male may be left behind after he has visited by the females. And all he does is just remain within his territory. He can push to follow them, but then wherever they're going, then they may lead him into fight, because they would be going to many males out there. So the males are territorial. It's quite harder to tell what they're seeing, since they're not making any of it. They probably maybe seen whatever it was maybe an hour ago, but they're hardly to forget this animal. They're just gonna go around, running around very much. And then I believe if they could see what they're afraid of, they would be more standing on a far distance and looking at it, but also alarm called at it. So it doesn't look like whatever it was happening or was around here is still around. And they would be scared of any type of carnivorous species. They would be scared of cheetah, they would be aware of leopards. When I look at them, they're far too big to be hunted by a leopard, but they're still gonna run away from the leopard. So the bird that we're hearing in the background are crested francolins. They're all just bringing all of this instrumental call, but all the communications. So the young one that ran almost past us here to the east, it still look younger. So we're gonna try and understand what's happening in this area.
all Wild Earth explorers, we have a new and frankly awesome travel prize for you to win. andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve encompasses an impressive 28,000 hectares of protected wildlife land in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. As you have seen on WildEarth, andBeyond Phinda showcases one of the continent's finest game viewing experiences and is well known for close-up sightings of the elegant yet elusive cheetah, as well as the rare black rhino. Sign up to be a Wild Earth explorer before the 16th of September, and you and a friend could be heading to the magnificent Phinda Mountain Lodge, where you will spend 3 nights escaping the real world at this ultimate safari location. Wild Earth explorers, it's in your nature.
We're here at the Advanced Rifle Handling Challenge, which is actually lots of challenges in one to gauge the contestants' skills at different distances and different speeds. This is probably the challenge that the contestants are the most nervous about. So let's get them locked and loaded. Competitors are now doing the Hales halt, where they have to run back and forth to a target, turn, take aim, and shoot. And this simulates a chase in a real environment and gets the heart pumping and the blood pressure up. James gave us a demonstration, and the skill involved in this exercise is remarkable.
This is a battle of 2 great carnivores of the African wilderness. Whew. Whoa! You don't want to be under those jaws. Definitely, this round goes to the lion. Look at that. Fantastic.
Expect the unexpected here on Wild Earth daily.
Good morning and welcome back to Bushwalk. We are out and about looking at some trees at the moment, and the tree that we are specifically looking at is a jacket plum. So if we do look at the tree and its leaves, it has a very distinct leaf format that is highly serrated. However, sometimes these leaves can be very smooth as well, which often confuses young novices and guides when it comes to teaching them tree identification. Also makes little red fruits at certain times of the year, and those fruits can be used for eating as well as making into jelly, vinegar, and also making it into an alcoholic beverage. Inside that little red fruit there's also a little seed, and those seeds are often roasted, and the roasted seeds are then used for making an oil. It's a very high quality oil which is also used against baldness, but it's also used to also oil furniture, including rifle stocks. Sometimes the bark of this tree is also turned into a powder, and that powdered bark has been sprinkled on the ground to work as a magic charm to protect you against danger. You'll also notice right over here on the tree there's also a large number of frass, which is the waste product that's been created by a longhorn beetle that is busy feeding on this tree. We also see a tiny little hole that's just directly underneath the frass, and this is where the beetle larvae most likely was inside. And a woodpecker has come and flown over here, detected that there is a potential larvae underneath the bark, and started excavating a little hole, and then extracted that little larvae from the longhorn beetle. Now they've got a number of ingenious ways of extracting that larvae from underneath, and one of them is a very long sticky tongue that they will force into that hole, and in some species they've got like a harpoon-like tip which they will force into the hole to grab and extract that. And meanwhile, we're going to hand you over to Andrew and see what the team is up to in Djuma.
So I'm checking on just the western side of the dam here. Still hope that might be a cat around. Seeing these wildebeest running around a little bit. So in this situation, we're gonna have to look for a track of that cat that could be around, because it's the way of finding them. Look for a tracks or spot it right away. Also may have to not look around close by to this animal, because they found out maybe it's a while ago and they're still frightened, and they would be frightened forever, entire day. So we're just gonna check further away, maybe, whatever it is. So you're asking, when do leopards mate? So leopards, the females, has to become fully estrus, and then that's where they mate. But all year round, they're not actually seasonal, the leopards. So all year round. So and then a pregnancy for about 115 days roughly there. So and that's how the reproduction take place. So if it's a male in the area that is dominating, so it seems reproduction of that female leopard in that area, once dominated by male, it's always sustainable. So every possibly 25 months, you may see cubs from time to time give birth. Someone asking how long is a leopard's canine. Now that I'm not sure. But it's strong, and they have strong bite for sure. I'll find out, so I'll probably found out about that, but I haven't actually able to find out about their canine and how long is it. So we're checking to the top of quarantine because know sometimes quite a lot of impalas, we're just going to see how they react. Okay, so that question, I think they Googled, it says that is at 5 centimeters long, that canine. So yeah, it's a good result there then. Here. Just gonna stick with them, see how they react. But the ant seems to be very disturbed, and they're very relaxed, and they're all just continuing feeding. Whatever threatened these wildebeests, perhaps it's not around here. If it does happen that it's around here, maybe the impala hasn't realized yet. Kind of are still fluffy, and all that carry on. So it happens, they're feeding, meanwhile somebody's watching them to feed them. That would be one of the carnivorous species we're looking for to find around here. I can't tell what was it, because I haven't seen even the tracks. We'll only assume that is a leopard because they are sneaky very much. Safari Kitty, you're asking would all antelope species prong? Like impalas, not all of them do. I haven't seen duiker do that. Most of the other antelope, except the springbok can jump pretty much like a impala's display, but then none of the others. That I can remember here. Maybe somewhere else then. The antelope that we have here, apart from impalas, so we don't have a springbok, but we do have a Ngala, these, we have a bushbuck, a reedbuck, duiker, the steenbok, and those are just count, they don't actually prong. Now that prong, it's actually one of these special behavior when they are all excited, impalas, especially when in an open area they do that. To see them do that, it's amazing because they look like they're kind of going to fall off when they jump, and they stranded their back leg right up in the air, and they land on their 4 legs, and then that way. So it's such incredible to see. now talking about all the mixed feeder animals such as an impala, and they're always sustained around here during a drought because then they graze the browsers. So the chance of them seeing them healthy, it's great. And the number could go down in some herds due to the predators, but it does increase every year because of they are also a seasonal breeder, which we're looking now around November. If we have first rain around November, then we would see a lot of these babies and impalas running about around here. Even though it bring quite a lot of a challenge for these mothers, because then a carnivorous species, they aim to chase this young one, they're still vulnerable, but many of them make it through their lives and they grow up healthily. And that's why sometimes during the rioting season, it has to be one male Jackson. So you're asking would all the antelope species had a rioting period. Many of the other antelope, such as the steenbok, all of the these bushbuck and the Ngala, there seems to be all year round. So they're not actually seasonal. But impala out here, they are in another species of ungulate that I would count as one of the also the seasonal. They're the wildebeest that we saw running around in the background. They also are seasonal, but many of them they're all year round. So wildebeest around December or so, they're more likely to drop their baby out here in a low field. Like I say, it's quite a beautiful weather. It's cloudy, but it's not very, very wind. So, and that's why these antelope, and they still find access to the bush. So, I'm gonna sit around here, see what is happening around this impala. And just looking at this animal, I find them so much beautiful because of the way they do. They're always in a number of more than one. They are feeding, but even they're in the bush, so the chance of survive it's greater because many of them they are also watching around while the others feeding. So that's what helps those in groups. Interesting, we've seen many males already in this group over here of a different age. Where a lot of time when it comes to this month of August, because there's not much of a rioting that is happening, all bigger females are heavily carrying, so a dominant male tend to be less strict in terms of allowing the other males come close to the harem. You may stay as a dominant in that case, but he knew that it's no business that it's going with the females anymore, so some males wouldn't really mind. Different male, but we can hear him, he's still roaring in there. Because when they probably make that sound, it's such a very hard and deep sound, you would think of probably something scary out there until you see the impala.
So we on Chitwa going to check on Tingana. Apparently it's in the same area I was yesterday. So we're very close to there now, so I'll try to make my way and try to find him. Hopefully it will be quite easy. Sometimes when they lie in the long grass, it might be a little bit tricky. But I think there's one vehicle there, so it might help us. So this is where we saw the kill yesterday, same spot. I'm just going to talk on the radio quickly. Sorry, station with Tingana. Can I please approach? Doesn't seem to hear me. Ah, there he is on the tree. Sorry, I'm just making my way, try to find the best spot. Might be fine, be careful. And there he is. So we did spend a lot of time with him yesterday in the morning and Andrew in the afternoon. It was very nice, and there was Samba also around. So it's only the second time that I see Tingana. Yesterday obviously was the first time. Looks like he's very sleepy. Probably finished that warthog. I'm not sure, I can't see the carcass. Be nice if you can lift his head. He's a big leopard. This leopard can weigh up to 90 kilograms, so it is very big. Yeah, obviously the female will be smaller. Yesterday was so exciting. It was a bit of a commotion at some stage. Because we were free vehicle in a very small area, so it was difficult to find space to get the best visual. It's a bit sad, there's just one. There's one little leaf in front of his eyes. I'm just going to roll back, maybe we'll get a better view. Doesn't really seem... I think we'll wait there. The vehicle in front of us will move soon, so then we'll be able to move and get a better view. Yeah, very nice to see the Duke again. Yeah, let's move a bit forward. I think it will be quite cool where we're going now. Look at a bit more forward. Yeah, that's much better. How beautiful is that? It is nice now because he is actually like at the same level as us. So it's not like we're looking up or down on him. It's like straight into us. So yesterday there was a bit of argument on which leopard it is, but thank you for helping me, on the viewers, because I don't know that leopard. It was the first time I saw him, but obviously I heard about him. But it's always nice to get your feedback on the characters. Seems to be interested in something there. Not sure. I hope he stays here a little bit longer and don't start moving into the drainage line. I can't see what he's looking at. How beautiful is that, eh? I love spending time with leopards. It's my favorite, actually. And we are so spoiled with them here in the Sabi sands. Okay, so I heard that if I understood well, the Talamatis might be on Chitwa, and it's not very far from here. But there's lots of cars going there at the moment, so we're alone with Tinginan. We're alone with him now. Difficult morning with him, so I think we're going to enjoy him here. And later on try to see if we can see the Talamatis. Yeah. Yeah. I can't see it. Do you see it? So what's happening now? It's that it did a little bit of crawling and looking down. So I'm not sure. It might be another leopard. Maybe Tsamba is still around, or maybe a hyena. But we can't see what it is at the moment. There is a little francolin calling at in the bottom there. Barbara, are you saying you just love Tingana? Yes, he is a very nice leopard. He's very old apparently. So, yeah, I've been very successful around here. His territory must be massive. Big male leopards generally have quite a big territory. Obviously, they will have more chance to mate if you have a bigger territory, because there will be more females around. It looks like he wants to go down, but he's not sure in which branch, where he might just lie there. So I'm going to move a little bit forward and see if we can get a better view. It is not the best, maybe there. There we go. I'm not sure what was irritating him now, but it seems to be relaxed again. Might want to go down as well. Doesn't look like the most comfortable tree. You don't get sighting like that every day because we are about 6 meters, 7 meters from him, maybe less, and he's exactly at the same level as us, so it is very nice. I'm glad you want to sleep again. Yeah, I'm not sure if Tsamba probably left the area or maybe he's still around, I don't know. But I can't see him anywhere. Okay, so we're going to stay here and see what Tingana does. Hopefully we'll maybe lift his head a bit and we can have a nice look at him.
Every year in August, South Africa marks Women's Month. WildEarth would like to acknowledge and thank all the amazing females who have worked tirelessly to share our nature with the world.
We're gonna have to just wait, okay? She's gonna come out there just on my right-hand side, and she can see these impala.
Now you've got to inhale it. It burns! I don't know if it's supposed to work instantly. Go, girl, go! Get her! Get her, girl, get her! I'm so looking forward to following her story in the future.
I'm really hoping there's two. I'm really hoping there's two. But you know, even if there's one, oh my goodness, everyone.
And I get to share it with you. Isn't that extra special? I get to experience it and show it to everyone.
Looks like it's a very difficult climb because every time it tries to climb, the ground is breaking, so it slides down. But it's the only one. Look at that. That is the call of desperation with a cub. It's like, what are you doing, mommy? Oops. Oof.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Look what we've just found. We've just found a couple of giraffes here, and welcome to your African live bush safari. My name is Dai Koza and I have Johan on the camera. So we just found this tallest Africa's land mammal grazing peacefully here. This looks like a couple of young ones. As you can see, the light color, wow, that looks like more animals joining. And these two that we're looking at now, they're definitely young male. There's a third one behind the bushes that we can barely see. So this is just the young males traveling together, of which it will be really interesting to see
what's going to happen here, because there's one that's moving in. Sometimes these animals will just fight for dominance. It's quite interesting to see how they fight, because they swing those necks and hit each other quite bad. As you look, it looks like a slow motion from a distance. Really, really nice grazing and browsing with these long necks, because that's helps them, because these animals are strict or complete browsers. They only eat leaves. That's the purpose of the long neck, to reach the highest level or the canopy of the tree, because now it's winter and then most of the trees are going to lose those leaves. If they didn't have that long neck, and then it was going to be difficult for them to feed through the canopy of the trees. It's interesting though, one would wonder what will be their enemy, of which, yes, lions do take giraffes, but these animals are not easy prey, because they have such a deadly kick, of which sometimes they can break the lion's jaw, kick a lion to death with those hind legs. So lions have to catch them by surprise while they're resting, because to go to sleep, they'll bend down, tuck the legs under the belly, sit down, and keep the neck up. So like that, they can't get up very quickly. Otherwise, they have to chase them through some very thick, dense vegetation, maybe eroded areas, until they trip and fall down. That's when they catch them. Otherwise, they're not easy prey. Even for that, if this animal is down, the lions have managed to pull the giraffe down, you'll find carcasses of small cubs dead while the lions are feeding off the giraffe, because the cubs are not that experienced. When the parents are still trying to kill the animal complete, the cubs will move in and try feed, and they happen to grab the hind leg. They can still kick even if they on the ground. So this is really beautiful. We just got here by luck, finding this beautiful Africa's tallest land mammal. But our plan this morning will be heading back towards where we saw the lions yesterday. We're hoping that the lions are still feeding there. Otherwise, if they left, might be interesting, because the hyenas will move in and clean up whatever the lions have left behind, including the vultures as well. So that's the plan for the morning. Now we're going to leave these giraffes grazing peacefully here while we're making our way to the last position of the lions that we saw last night. You never know, we might come across something very interesting along the way, because it's a beautiful day. Yeah, we'll leave these giraffes peacefully and head down towards where the lions are. And then let's go over to the other side and see what they've found.
So I'm sure at Ngala might be a bit cloudy there too, because it's not very far from here. So we're still with Tingana in that tree, and there's a hyena that just joined us, walking behind the tree. There's also lots of vultures flying around. I think I saw a hooded vulture earlier. Obviously, it's normal that there's some hyenas at the scene, because there was a kill here yesterday. I can't see the carcass though. I don't know if it fell, but I can't see it in the tree. So there's quite a lot of predators around, because there's Tingana here, there's a hyena, and apparently the lions are not too far from here. So to tell you a bit about the Talamatis, for example, how far we can walk. So yesterday they were just at the border of Buffelshoek and Djuma, and they walk all the way to Tswalu. It is far. Lots of alarm calls on that side there. Might be a hunt happening or something. would be probably from the lions. But you can see how Tingana is looking there now. And we can hear all the impalas alarm calling. This is getting exciting again. Fortunately, we can't go there yet because it's very busy. There's a big standby and a very big lineup for joining that sighting day. But what is nice is that we're alone with Tingana, so it's quite quiet. I think probably the lions start moving. You can see some vultures there coming on the trees. It will happen also that vultures follow lions as well. So I think what happened there with the kill of Tingana, the vultures was around and then spotted the lion and start hanging around just to see if they kill anything. It would be quite amazing to have an interaction of lions and Tingana, but I think we're going in a different direction. We might have a look maybe in the opening in front of us. If I see one lion walking, we will try to put it on camera. Guinea fowls are not happy at all. Ray, you're saying the Duke, such a magnificent leopard? Yes, very, very big leopard. It's not too... Apparently, he is quite old, so you can see that a bit now on his face. There's lots of excitement on the other side there, so something must be happening there. But I'm currently happy where we are now. Anyway, we can't go there at the moment. I would like to know what's happening actually, because it is going a bit crazy there. There's cars driving everywhere, so we can hear some excitement. There's a car coming in a block in front of us there. Not sure what he is following. Might be the lions or another leopard. Never know, huh? All the impalas are alarm calling. The guinea fowls are alarm calling. Yeah, everything is happening here now. Carl, you're asking how fast can a leopard run? It's about 60 kilometers. So they are not the fastest of cats, but this is why they hunt in dense areas. So they're very fast when they start running. So they will try to get the closest to the prey and just bounce on the prey. They can't run fast for very long. So they will have to try to get very close to whatever they are hunting. I think maybe what happened is that the lion started moving. So maybe they're walking around the block, and this is why all the impalas are alarm calling. And yeah, so leopards will have to get quite close to their prey to catch them. Cheetahs, they are the fastest, obviously, up to 120 kilometers per hour. But they will need a very nice and open area to hunt, because they run so fast. If there's bushes and trees, lots of trees around, they can get injured. Lions hunt a bit in different areas. Open plains, thicker area. Yeah, I can't see the carcass I was saying, so I think maybe it fell on the ground and maybe some hyenas took it. Or the other leopard that was there yesterday. But it was not a very big warthog, so it is definitely finished now. He doesn't seem to be very concerned anymore of what's happening around. Okay, while we're alone here with Tingana, we'll sit here and hopefully we'll move a bit and we'll get a better view of him. But it is quite a nice visual that we have at the moment.
So we got ourselves a herd of elephants, which is always great to find elephants and spend time with them. As you can see, this one, young one, looks like it's playing a little bit of a coming comfortable with us. So when I said little one, young girl, it looks like it's a beautiful herd, yeah? They may actually make their way or finally maybe surround us. And then it's quite a lot of vegetation around here, grass species, all trees, and that's what they love about. Temperature is great. It's just so cool to find elephants, and as we know for sure, elephants, they're one of the beautiful animals that are always taking herds. Yeah, I cannot tell if this is the same herd we saw yesterday, because they were everywhere. So we have found ourselves a herd of elephants. They're doing a lot of movement here. We've seen some of our young males that are actually keeping up with the herd. Seen a lot of females, as we know for sure. A herd of elephants consists of many of females, many of the young ones that they have within a group over here. So we kind of like are surrounded since they're moving through past us. And they've been probably standing up the whole entire evening or night. James, Richard, you're commenting next saying, time to spend with the elephants always appreciated. You are very right, Richard. So one of the animals you would love to spend time with, it's elephants. And they're so cool and they just do their things. Oopsie. Some trumpeting going on in the background. Maybe one of these males that they're still following this herd from the way distances.
Sabi and Yari heading west at the end of Champagne Road, close to the Manileti boundary.
Rose, so you're asking, I think elephants eat more in order to get nutrition they need. Yeah, they do that. So they eat more in order to get the nutrition they need. For that's why they would go for any different type of wood out here. But some of the combretum trees are their favorite, such as these larger fruited bush willow. And every year they've been disturbed, this tree. They never go a decent tree because of elephants visit them quite a lot. And that's one of the trees that's why they all just went stationary right here. It's because they now have found their favorite trees they need. But also with the matriarch, that she's in control of these herd, it's always important for her as an experienced animal within a group. So she leads them the way she wants. Quite a lot of times, since there's so many herds, different group in turns, that matriarch has to play her role of knowing where to lead them to get the grazing. And in that case, sometimes she can fail because some places, when they arrive, they found some of the already herds has been maybe a few days, and then she needs to make different plans to get them to the feeding point. Some animals, they would actually love to move as they eat. Some, they would be much stationary when they feed. But these strongest, they're also doing their best, getting their benefit done from animals such as an elephant, watching out for any movement of an insect as the animals move. They wouldn't need so much of water right now. They would need, but I won't push too much in watering hole today because the temperature from that over 35 degrees, and it all dropped immediately. Now it was a little bit of a spitting, these clouds still covering it up. It's so cool because we've seen them combine here usually. Oops. So usually they would spread around pretty much so that they give each other space. It's because we've seen a lot of young ones here, so for these young ones, safety and security is very important, that they're close to their mother. So everybody, we're going to stay put here with this herd of elephants, see how they get around.
So we're still with a very sleepy Tingana. So I heard on the radio that the lions was moving across the airstrip Tswalu. So it's still very busy. So I prefer to stay where we are now because we have quite a good visual of Tingana, and then later on go try with the lions. Hopefully they will still be around. It is quite cold today. Sorry about that. And so it must be quite comfortable there on this tree, which didn't look the most comfortable tree, but it seems to be happy there. Yeah, hopefully it will still be there this afternoon as well. Maybe Andrew will come on that side this time to see him. Why, Keisha, you're asking if the leopard have the longest whiskers of all the cats? Yeah, they have, as far as I can see, they are longer than lions, obviously, and other cats. Some of them it get very, very, very long. So I would say yes, on my opinion, obviously, what I could see in the past. They have beautiful whiskers, and it helps them when they walk in the bushes. It's very sensitive. So, and yeah, so as you can see there, it is very long. Yeah, so yesterday he killed a warthog. Yeah. Yeah. So we have been joined by a couple of vehicles now. Obviously everybody wants to see Tingana. Hey, moving a bit now. Maybe look at us a bit. It doesn't look very comfortable there, but it seems to be happy. It's quite weird. Oh, big leopard there. Yeah, I think on our side, maybe a bit later we'll try and approach that lion sighting there if there's any space, obviously. It would be nice if we can get Tingana and the Talamates this morning. That would be great. Yeah, so yesterday was very exciting. Very exciting yesterday for us in the morning, and I'm sure for Andrew as well it was nice. Well, BK was there, so yesterday afternoon was nice. Yeah, BK saying yesterday afternoon with Tingana was very nice. And now everything I'm calmed down a bit, just lying there in the tree. You might move even during the day because it is quite cold today. Oh, there we go. Trying. Unfortunately, he's looking in the other direction now, so it is not the best visual. Sound of a little issue with my comms. I hope it will come back. Okay, so we are very close to the other vehicle, so this is why you're hearing a bit of noise and people talking. Obviously, everybody is very excited to see Tingana.
You going up? Yeah. I'll take this plug.
Okay, we're going to sit here a little bit longer. If it does nothing, we'll try moving towards the Talamatis and see if we can have a look of them.
Competitors are in the room behind me right now for the birding challenge, where they have to look at pictures and identify the birds and then separately listen to bird calls and identify them. But it's not easy. This is going to be the toughest one. Here we have the previous year's winners. You can see they're trying to see if they can remember all the answers, and look at them taking a sneak peek.
Wow, look, we just found this beautiful elephant bull, like if you look at those tusks, they're very impressive set of tusks, of which you don't normally see bulls with nice pair of tusks like this. As you can see, he's now pulling the grass off the ground and put it in his mouth. But if you look slightly to the left from where animal is, you can see the tree broken there. That shows these animals are mixed feeders. They will eat grass, they will eat roots, as well as wild fruits and berries. And yeah, he's just left that tree that he was feeding off. Maybe just go to the next tree. Yeah, elephants, otherwise you wonder why he's alone. It's either he's behind the rest of the herd, yeah, so he's gonna move into those bushes there, possibly following the rest of the herd, or maybe carry on towards those lands and leave this elephant grazing peacefully. I'll go over to Andrew while we're heading down, see if we can find those lines again.
So, Dyke's elephant's moving into the bush, but our elephant is still visible here. It's amazing since we got them, so we just off-road for them, but then they actually haven't done a lot of moving, so I would assume that female just move across the frame there. It happens, maybe she's one of the leader or maybe a senior leader. Is a young one also still getting access to learn how to use its trunk as the mother feed, who's able to pick up soft material, put it in her mouth. Ramon, you're asking how strong are the elephant's tusks? Are very strong. So we would imagine a solid bone, and then that's where it grows out from. So it's very strong, but does sometimes break due to depending on how they're using them, in what condition. So fighting badly, pushing tree badly, stripping bark unnecessary, that can sometimes make these tusks break off. In that case, so many times you see a lot of elephants with one tusk, another one is missing due to that situation. It was all about acumen that was happening here. kind of hold a trumpet. But it's all settled down. So many of our young babies in this group as well. So, Victor, you're asking how long does the young elephant stay with his mother for? So, usually when it's about 18 to 24 months, somewhere there, but then still need to stay with their mother for at least 5 years, roughly, for safeties and kind of things. The female, they will remain with their mother in the group forever, which males tend to, when they anything from above 10 to 15 years, that's where they're more likely to be pushed out or maybe separated from their mother, then go to join their uncles and their fathers out there as a bachelor males. But the young female will remain in the group, so was joined and developed the group. So when a young elephant born still young may weigh nearly 100 kilogram sometimes, and again they access to stand up and wobble around, able to move very fast. By 30 minutes, and then they will able to find out themselves where the milk are located. In that case, the whole herd tend to be very stationary. So you're asking how do they make their trumpet call? So that's made out of a, trunk, sort of like a very strong, the air blow, and that's the trumpet about came out that way. So that's only the trumpet, and that comes very loud when you hear it. So that trumpet usually not coming out of their mouth. And that it was not coming out of their trunk. So it was a very good timing, as I was just explaining how those sounds, but that was not actually from the trunk, as we described that the trumpet is made through their trunk most of the time. So, in the African elephant, there is pretty much of the difference to the Indian elephant, that a lot of time in the Indian elephants, the males would have this temporina, which these species here, male and the female, would have secretion, sweat. A lot of time females should sweat that. Even this young one due to the stress, they may sweat this temporine. But a lot of time when the male indicates when he's on mast, but then also it includes the back leg underneath being wet very much, and then stink that is coming out, very punching stink. If you're ever around, you may notice that immediately. They're very vocal, so it's all about their communications. And I just went stationary here, so they're probably hoping for any response. If it's ever a big group, then they were able to know where to go from here. Maybe that's why they stay in a one position, because they have to first confirm with the other group where they are, how far. That's one of the male that is here. And they're pretty static here. And then maybe it's that the wind is actually coming through slowly with these all the wood, trees. And we've been talking about the elephants being in the middle of the bush or in a drainage line system when it's the temperature drop. And they also still feel a little bit of a change in the temperatures. And for that, they need to be in a covered area. And sometimes when they come out, this is when maybe they got to respond to another member, and that's where maybe they're going to carry on. We're going to stick around here.
Yeah, we're still on our way to the last position of the lions. Yeah, we just hope the weather stop what it's doing, because as it looks, it's starting to like having a bit of raindrops. We'll see how this lasts, and then if it doesn't stop, we might think of heading back to the camp. Otherwise, let's hope this is just a 2-minute thing. It will stop, and because I really want to get to where those lions were and see what happened, because it will be really interesting to get there, even if those lions have left as they were feeding off a carcass, and then there might be hyenas and vultures in that area. So trying to get there as quickly as we can and see what happened last night. Otherwise, this is a beautiful weather for predators that haven't had anything to eat last night to still try to hunt. Like the leopards might be hunting today because it's overcast, a little bit of wind. And then, yeah, so we're gonna carry on down and see if we can get there. But otherwise, if this weather doesn't stop, because it's starting to drizzle a bit, so we might start heading back to the lodge. Let's hope things go our side and we'll get there and see those lions, because, yeah, you never know. Yesterday, there was a young male that was with the white lions that came into that carcass where the other lions were feeding. So I was hoping and thinking the white lions may be not too far from where the rest were feeding. So hoping that this morning maybe they have arrived last night. It will be nice to see them joining the pride and feeding together.
Yes, welcome back with us. Not much happened. We just sat here and spent some time with Ngala. But now it decided to look even further away from us. So it is not the best visual. So we decided to wait though anyway, just in case it decided to look in our direction or start moving around. So I think we'll do a last little segment here and enjoy his company, and then we will try to join the Talamatis. I'm sure it will be a bit more quiet now with the Talamatis. Yeah, so you can imagine how it was exciting yesterday in the morning and afternoon, seeing two leopards on one side. Now we have a very sleepy but beautiful big leopard. Yes, so I can't even move at the moment because it's facing on the other side of the drainage line, so I can't even go on the right or on the left because the tree is in the drainage line. So yeah, it is not ideal. But at least at the beginning we did have a very nice look of him when he was facing us. Still a lot of vultures around as well. It is a bit behind the trees, but we will have a look there. You can see the vultures in the tree at the back there. So there was only two at the beginning and then more came around. Obviously they like to stand on dead trees because it is easier for them to land, obviously. There's not a lot of branches around. And they will have a better visual around as well. Yeah, so the Talamatis walk quite a bit, I think, because they apparently near to the airstrip there, which is a little bit further east. So I think what happened when there was a lot of commotion around is that they were walking toward that direction. There's a bit of an argument there between the vultures. I had a very cool sighting one day. There was a dead impala, but it wasn't killed by any animal, it was just dead. And some vultures came, and in like, I can't tell you how many minutes, but like very quickly, all the vultures finished that impala. It was very impressive. Obviously, it will not be like 5 minutes, but maybe 1 hour. But there was lots of vultures on that impala. Of course, vultures are very important for the ecosystem as well, because they clean the carcasses, so if there's any disease, they will be the one cleaning it by eating on it, obviously, and it is very important. They also help predators to find carcasses, so often you will see lions or leopards looking in the sky, and if they see some vultures going down, they will definitely go have a look, especially the lions, if there's anything there. And they are very big birds. But maybe let's go back to our sleepy Tingana. Kile, did you ask how my camera is not great at the moment, so did you ask why the vultures are perching on the dead tree? Love to perch on the dead tree. Thank you, BK. So basically, it makes it much more difficult for them to land in trees with lots of leaves and branches, because you have to remember they have a very big wingspan. So when they arrive to land, it's difficult. They can get stuck in the branches, and injure themselves. So that's one reason. If they land on a dead tree, it's much more open, so it's easier for them to land. And also another reason, they can see better from there. There's no branches in the way. Even if the branches will not affect them too much, it's a little bit more advantageous for them to be on the dead trees. We find that often as well with some battlers. They like to be on dead trees as well, and other eagles to have a better visibility around. I think Anna still didn't move, just lying there. There's a little squirrel alarm calling around here. I'm not sure if it is for Tingana or something else. But I can hear also a little crested francolin, not very happy on the other side of a drainage line. And there's our sleepy cat. Is that a piece of the warthog that we see there? Looks like it's the remain of the kill of the warthog that was killed yesterday. I think so. Look that way. Okay, so I think on our side we will move on, try to get the Talamati, see if there's any space. In the meantime, we'll send you to Dak in Ngala, sorry.
Yeah, we finally got to our destination. Some of those lions are still here, of which it looks like some of the animals have left the area. But yeah, it's good though to see this lasted them a bit longer than one would think. As I said, buffalo is a good meal for a pride of lions because it's what they need to feed them all, because it's so many of them in this pride. Even though the others have left already, it looks like the others have eaten enough, maybe gone somewhere to look for water. Unfortunately, I was hoping that the white lions are going to be here, but they're not here. But it's good though that these lions are still around. There might be lots of hyenas that are lying and waiting for the lions to leave. As soon as the lions have left the area, and then the hyenas are going to move in and finish whatever is going to be there. As you can see, that little cub is trying to get a position where he can still keep feeding on that carcass, but there's not much. It looks like a lot, but it's not. They've just eaten from the inside. What you see is just the rib cage and the skin. So these animals had a really good meal on this buffalo carcass. You can see 3 cubs there, and then no other cubs. I was hoping the male is going to be here as well. Maybe he's still on his way, but by the time he gets here, there will be hardly anything for him to eat. a very interesting thing. As you can see, this lioness is cleaning each other. So this is like, you'll wonder, after having something like this, or when you get here while it's still fresh, they'll be covered with blood, and then once they've finished eating, they'll be nice and clean. This is what happens after feeding. These animals will go find a spot to lie down. When it's hot, they'll go lie on the shade and clean each other. As you can see, they licking each other on the faces. That's also form part of natural bonding between these two lionesses. As you can see the grooming session going there, cleaning each other's face. And then, yeah, that's how they get so clean. Sometimes they'll just lick their paws and clean their faces if the other one is not too close to them. So that's why they look so beautiful and clean. As you can see, the condition of these lions, they just look in very good condition. What's interesting is, like, in 5 weeks now, most of the kills that I've seen was buffalo. So they just developed this habit of going for buffalo. Maybe they've realized it's a good meal for all of them, because if they kill something really small, not all of them get to eat. For instance, if they take down an impala is not enough for all of them. They're gonna need to hunt right away. So once they've taken buffalo down, it's like 3-4 days. This is day 4 since they've been around here. That shows how much they can feed of that buffalo, how long the buffalo can last them. And you can see they looking around, seeing if there's no hyenas coming to the area, because that can be dangerous to the cubs as well. Because once hyenas come here in numbers, the lions will start chasing the hyenas around, and those cubs might be in danger of the hyenas. But yeah, otherwise lions being top of food chain, I'm sure the hyenas won't bother to come here unless they're really desperate, but they know what the lions can do to them. So it's, yeah, I'm so happy we got here and get to see these lions while they were busy feeding. Oh, there's a hyena running down the road. Straight down the road. Oh, he's just gone across. Yeah, we're just gonna sit here. It sounds like because of this wind blowing a bit, hyenas may have picked up the scent. More and more hyenas, we might see them come to this area. So we're just gonna sit and wait and see what's gonna happen.
As we celebrate Women's Month in South Africa, we acknowledge and thank those women committed to conservation, working tirelessly both on the front lines and behind the scenes. The Endangered Wildlife Trust is proud of the women who dedicate their lives to fighting to save species, conserve habitats, and benefit people. Here's to strong women everywhere who are dedicated to protecting forever together.
For me, the best part about being a guide is being able to live out in Africa's wild places and being able to share that with people. Of all the challenges, for me, the one that I'm probably the most comfortable with is the game drive. I think that's what I do most days, so that would probably be what I feel like I'd do the best at. Almost like someone's put little Lego blocks up there and made this perfect little sort of statue, and there's another one further along as we drive. One of the challenges I'm the most nervous about would probably be shooting. I think on the day there's always quite a bit of pressure and intimidation, always associated with it, but I guess we'll see how it goes. I hope I'll win this competition, but if I don't, it's still been an experience of a lifetime, and I've learned a lot and met a lot of really, really cool people.
I've seen something I've never seen here before. Look at these cubs. One is crossing the river. It's being washed away, unfortunately, but I'm sure the mother is going to save her. Look at that. How beautiful. Look at that. One crossing, 2 to go.
It's a huge privilege to be in these incredible places with these amazing animals. I love filming lions. When they do get up and do something, it's always spectacular. When they are playing, are incredibly fun to watch, especially adults and cubs. I love being in the bush and working in these incredible places with these amazing animals. We want to bring it to you so that you can almost feel like you're right there and be able to experience it and enjoy it the way we are.
So we're still with the elephants, but visual now, they're all spread around. We're trying to get to the road because then they were just moving through. But at least we still see through the bush that they're still around here. But they actually are moving slowly, perhaps to the west directions. And if they do that, they're more likely maybe to cross to the west. Perhaps go drink somewhere in these dams, maybe Red Dam area, and later on that side. These young ones always follow their mother because they're already getting used to feed a lot, and then every time their mother break branches, then they're involved in sharing with their mother. It's a way of exercise their jaws and able to get their teeth very strong so they can carry on with their lives in the end. It's just also so amazing to look at these animals and then they still do their thing in the bush. It seems they don't worry about our presence, that we're around here, so we're not part of their problem. Nadia, you're asking how much food does an elephant need per day in order to survive? So fully grown elephants would require above 150, 160 possibly if they are fully grown. The younger can take less than, depending on the age. So that's a daily amount of food they would need. We're out here. That's why it's got to be so much of a tree species, grasses species. They may like to go eat in them. This young one, they can't have a good for one another. They're pushing one another that way, but that's what they are about when they're in a group. So much about these elephants. As they play, push one another. That's all about playing when they have time, especially when the herd are all stationary. These young ones have a lot to do. They can lie down flat sometimes. They still have a chance to do that. So with elephants is they have one-chambered huge stomach. So they usually pass gas very much often. When you're around them, you're able to even hear it. So they're different to rumen. Rumen wouldn't do that, passing gas that way. But the zebras, elephants, most of these free handicap fermentants, they do that, which is it's only a single pocket allows animal to use it when they feed. And now look at these, all animals that don't chew cud. They spend a lot of the time feeding quite a lot. They don't actually limit because they don't have to work on cud. So all food goes to one place, fermentation takes place, and they would continuously eat, defecate, and then move on. So everybody, I'm gonna reposition. Hopefully we get to see more of these elephants, but if then we're going to carry on, look for something else. As you can see, if you look here, these cubs are lying on the road, full bellies, and two lionesses. The one that's lying on the side is one of the sub-adults. And yeah, you wonder what happened. We'll look around and see if we can find the third lioness that was here when we got here, because she took off in that direction, sort of like same direction where the cubs are moving to, and she hasn't come back. Like I said earlier, there must be hyenas in the area. These animals get up every now and then and look around, checking for safety of their cubs, but that lioness disappeared in that direction full speed, so we're not sure what happened. We're just waiting to see if she come back. If she doesn't, maybe she's been chasing the hyenas away from this area as they're starting to move slowly closer to the rest of the carcass. I'm sure the hyenas have also realized that some of the lions are not here. They've already left the area. So if it's enough hyenas, then they'll manage to chase these lions from this position and get the remainings of this buffalo carcass here. Yeah, we're just gonna take a look around and check this area and see what happened with that lioness that took off. Because that one lioness that's lying there breathing, she wanted to go in that direction, but she looked and she decided to lie down again. Let's hope that lioness come back now. If she doesn't, we'll go over and have a look. But there's not much of the carcass there. I'm sure they're just waiting for the cubs to nibble on the carcass a bit. By this afternoon, I think these animals will be gone because there's not much left. As you can see, the cubs keep going back to that carcass there and try to see if they can get whatever they can. But seems to be slowly moving out of the area. There's a water hole not far from here. Maybe that's where the rest of the pride have headed. It would be really nice as well to see them all drinking out in the open. Yes, I agree with you, Judy. They
growing so fast, like you cannot believe. It's just that day, like I said earlier, this lioness is looking in very good condition because they hunt so well. This is like, I'd say, 5th buffalo that I've seen them taken in 4 weeks. So buffalo is a very good meal for all the animals like this. As you can see, that lioness is looking away from where she is. That's the direction where the other lioness is headed. So I'm just gonna quickly drive in there because she took off at the very high speed. I'm sure that one hyena was too close to this area, so we're just gonna go further away from these animals here and then see what happened, because she's not coming back, and we've been sitting and waiting here to hoping that she'll come back soon, but she's not showing any signs of coming back. So we're just gonna try drive in and see what happened. Maybe she caught one hyena there, or she's still chasing the hyena, or she just decided to lie down after the chase. She might be tired, maybe find a spot to lie down. She'll come back here whenever she's rested. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Maybe drive into the bushes there and see what happened with that lioness that took off here. Yeah, the cubs look so impressive because you cannot believe how big they are. You can see this one that's feeding off the carcass there. I'm just gonna quickly go in here and check the other lioness and see if she come back, or she's got the hyena, as the hyenas is trying to move into the area. Oh, that buffalo smells downwind now. Yeah, while we're trying to find her in this bush, if she's not around, then we'll come back. Maybe she'll be coming back in a different direction. So we're just gonna drive around and see if we can relocate on her. Maybe something happened to one of the hyenas in the block here, because she came.
So everybody was on set, as you can see. Still cloudy, but it's not bad actually, which is slightly open so we can see through. And then I'm just hoping to actually find ourselves a spotted cat that would be moving around hunting for their prey. Still good time for the cats to exercise this energies of theirs, just to hunt. Oh, some of them may hunt all day if it's the weather like this, even though it's a lot of a loss of energy, but they can do it. Hungry leopards. I've seen actually hungry leopard hunt in a very warm of a day. So they drive by hunger when they do that. So driving the roads and checking around, possibly on top of these trees, where most leopards, when they have their kill, they host it up in trees. So there's a chance you may come across maybe the antelope that has been hosted up in those trees out here. It's quite a lot of marula trees, which is all these trees are a leopard's favorite clump.
We're looking at some vultures flying around. Look like a hooded vulture. There's a couple of them flying everywhere. But obviously they're not going down, so they're not going down on a kill. I'm just going to stay a bit quiet and let you enjoy. Yeah, sorry, there's a little power line where we are, so and this vulture is just coming every time on top of it, but look like they're moving on to the side now. This is actually very nice. I must say, BK is doing an amazing job now, because it is also windy where we are now. It's amazing how they use the wind as well. Must be quite windy up there. And it does look close on the screen, but it is pretty far, so BK is doing a great job. Oh, Slav, are you saying this bird is just going with the flow? Yes. It's just like moving around. Obviously, we're looking down at the moment to see if we can find any carcasses. They're just soaring and moving with the wind. Obviously, they don't want to flap their wings to not waste energy, so it's much easier for them just to soar like that. They are super far from us now, and we can still see them. It is amazing. Like if I look in the sky, obviously without looking at the monitor, I can't really see them anymore. This is how far they are from us. Oh, now I can see it. I'm sure you can hear it. It is windy. today. It looks like it's going to be a cloudy and windy day the whole day. So for this afternoon, probably we'll chat with Andrew, but probably Andrew might want to go on Tswalu. It would be nice for him to go there if he wants. Us, we will be driving around Djuma. Simon, you're saying something very peaceful about watching eagles soar. Yes, every bird soaring like that, it's very, very nice to watch. But what is amazing is that at home now you're seeing it on your screen. It is completely different from what we see now, because I can barely see the bird in the sky. This is how far they are. And we can still bring that live to you with a very good camera and a very good zoom, obviously. So the Talamatis, I tried to look for them. The last report I got, they were moving east into a very big block. So we didn't manage to get them. But if myself or Andrew go on Tswalu this afternoon, maybe we will try again. It is a bit disappointing. I really wanted to see them. But sometimes it does happen.
Calling all WildEarth explorers, we have a new and frankly awesome travel prize for you to win. andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve encompasses an impressive 28,000 hectares of protected wildlife land in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. As you have seen on WildEarth, andBeyond Phinda showcases one of the continent's finest game viewing experiences and is well known for close-up sightings of the elegant yet elusive cheetah, as well as the rare black rhino. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 16th of September, and you and a friend could be heading to the magnificent Phinda Mountain Lodge, where you will spend 3 nights escaping the real world at this ultimate safari location. WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature.
Guiding as an industry has become, over time, more and more professional and more recognized as a profession rather than just a hobby. And so to be recognized for that professionality is really kind of it's humbling, really, to be able to say that. It's definitely birding is the thing that I feel most comfortable with in terms of categories that we have here. At least comfortable. I mean, you never know how you're going to shoot on a particular day. You can have a good day where you blast everything as you need to, in terms of the targets, and then you can have a shocker where you just, miss a single shot here or there, and that's basically the end of your day. To be considered for such an experience is really a powerful thing, and so I'm here just to have a lot of fun and experience what the competition's all about.
You are cheeky. That was a brave decision. Amber Eyes is... That is so magic. That was absolutely wonderful. Amber Eyes just gave that cub an enormous hug.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
So we're still on a bamboo. It's pretty quiet. Just checking for any possible tracks, but it's been a lot of the hyena tracks. I would assume it's just because of the line pride that have come in, that the Talamati, even though they have moved into another property somewhere else. But these hyena, I think they were just moving around hoping to get anything, any remain of the carcass that may be left by the lions when they're hunting around. So yes, it's going to be a very interesting one this afternoon, just to see how we're going to manage around here. Look. But if it's going to be staying like this, well, it's going to be great. So hopefully this afternoon, get all cats out. Everybody that we missed this morning, hope they be visible this afternoon during the drive. So I came to in a quarantine here. Just gonna check around. Because it do happen sometimes. You go work far away and then the leopards are all left behind close to the camp. That do happen sometimes, not always. Peaceful here in quarantine. Doesn't look like much happening. There hasn't been any zebra that returned back to the area. All of a collective of birds here, which is very interesting to spend time with these guinea fowls and then buffalo weavers, some of the ring-necked dove that are searching for food on the ground here. So everybody, we are almost coming in the end of the show of this morning. So we would love to thank you so much for being part of the show, and then we all appreciate you all the company, all the questions and comments that you bring in about. And then from us, goodbye for now until you see you this afternoon again.